Welcome back. In the previous video, you learned how you can write your own function to do a particular task. In this video, you will learn how to use different packages in Python. What is a library? A library is a collection of Python functions that are written in modules to extend basic functionality of Python. Remember, in the previous video, you wrote different functions. So let's say that you have written more than 5 functions. You could as well create a package out of those functions. So this is what this video is all about. In this video, you will use different packages that people have already prepared or that people have already created to do a particular task. A library can contain a set of functions that relate to a particular topic. For example, we have a NumPy package, which is numeric Python. This NumPy package is used to do different numerical calculations. We also have pandas package, which helps to do data manipulation and analysis in Python. We also have a package such as Matplotlib and Seaborn, which are used to do different data visualization in Python. We also have another package called scikit-learn, which is used to do machine learning in Python. When we are talking about Python libraries, you need to be familiarized with different terms, such as a module. What is a module? A module is a file which contains various Python functions. Module is always having an extension in form of .py. Although in this module, we've seen how we can use JupyterLab Notebook to really embed our codes. Although in this module, so we've seen how we can put our codes in a file, especially in JupyterLab Notebook. But let's say that you are not using JupyterLab Notebook. There are other ways at which you can write your Python code. For example, you can use PyCharm, you can use Spider, and many more. The extension of all these PyCharm and Spider, they are in form of .py. What is a package? A package is a collection of modules. Since we've already written different modules in this extension, so a package is now the collection of different modules that we have written in the form of .py. And what is a library? A library is now a collection of different packages. You will get used to all these terms when we get to the lab session. Let's say you have a package already installed on your computer. How can you now import it? Because before you can use a function in a package, you have to import such a package. And that is what this entire video is all about. Let's say you want to import a particular package called module name. This is how to import it. You just say import module name. And this module can just be NumPy, it can be a Seaborn, it can be a Matplotlib, it can be a pandas, it can also be a scikit-learn. Follow me to the lab session where you learn more about all this. I have already launched my JupyterLab notebook. And if you want to follow along with me, you can go to your Python script and codes. Then launch your Python libraries. And also, you can also create a new JupyterLab notebook to code along with me. As I said before, there are many packages in Python. And before you can use any function in those packages, you have to import it. And in Python, you can import any module or a library by using the keyword import, and then you put the name of that package. So for example, we have a package called NumPy. And to import NumPy, you can just say import NumPy, and that will run the code for you. In this NumPy, there are many functions there which we call attribute of a function. So to import that function in that package, you have to also use its own attributes. So for example, look at me here. I import NumPy by just typing import NumPy, import NumPy, import NumPy. Then you run it. As you can see, it's loading, it's loading. Now it has finished running. So now to use any function in this NumPy, for example, we have different attributes in this NumPy, such as pi, such as square root, and many more. So let's say that I want to get the value of pi. As you know, in mathematics, the value of pi is 3.142. So pi is a constant number in mathematics. And since this pi is from NumPy, so to use that pi, I have to get the attribute of that from NumPy. And that is why I say numpy.pi. Then I run it. As you can see, I have the result. Remember, before you can get pi, you have to import NumPy first. Here is the package, import NumPy. And we have run that. This NumPy has many attributes. It has many functions. And to take any function from that package, you have to include its name. For example, as you can see, pi here is from NumPy. So you have to say NumPy, NumPy.py, and then you have your result. Let's see another example. So we want to get the square root of 16. Since we have never written any function for a square root, but this square root is already defined in the NumPy package. And to get that function, we have to import NumPy and then take the attribute of square root from NumPy. I want you to note one thing. Once you import a package, you don't need to import it again before you can use its attributes. For example, as you can see here, I did not say import NumPy because I've already imported it. So once I've imported it, I will just be using its name. As you can see, NumPy. Then, since I need the square root is a function in NumPy. So I can just type scqrt. Square root, since square root is a function, remember every function must have parentheses. And then, remember it is not sqrt, but it is sqrt. Then I put this parenthesis there, and I put the number that I want to get its square root. So in this case, it is 16. Then I run it. As you can see, the square root of 16 is 4.0. Let's see another example. In this example, I want to get the square root of 15. Remember, since square root is a function, and since this function is from the NumPy package, I have to put NumPy there. Then the attribute is now scqrt, which will now be our function. And then I put 15 there and I run it. Now the square root of 15 is 3.87. Another way at which we can import a package is by using its alias. Remember, the last time we said import NumPy. And let's say that we want to import different functions, or we want to use different functions from that package. We have to be including numpy.sqrt, numpy.log, numpy. Many things like that. But we can actually shorten the name of the package. For example, we can just say NumPy is np. So now let's see how we can use alias to shorten the name of a package while importing it. And that one will help us to use its short name to get its attributes. So let's see. So to do that, we have to say import the name of the module as the alias for it. For example, here, as you can see here, we say import NumPy as np. Import NumPy as np. The standard alias for NumPy is np. So now, if I run this now, so if I want to get any function from NumPy, I have to just use its alias, np. Now, let's see. As you can see now, I want to get the value of pi. Now, I just say np.pi, and then I get the answer without including the full name NumPy. I only use its alias. And this is the standard in importing a package. Let's see another example. In this example, I want to get the square root of 16. After I have already said import NumPy as np, so to get the square root from NumPy, I will only use its alias. Now here is alias. I just say np.sqrt, and then I put the value that I want to get its square root. So in this case, I want to get the square root of 16. And now, as you can see, I have the result. Let me show you another example so that you can get it more clearly. Let's say I want to get the square root of 7. In this case, I will just say np.sqrt and put the value there. I want to get the square root of 11. I just put 11 there and I have the result. You will see that this one is easier compared to the other one where we are using the full name NumPy. But here we are just using its alias np after we have already assigned it here. Import NumPy as np. Another way at which we can load a function from a package is by using this syntax. From module name, import function name. From, let's say, from NumPy, import sqrt. So in this case, we are only loading that function from the package. All right, let's see an example. So here we want to load just 3 functions from this NumPy. And to do that, we can just say from NumPy import scrt, pi, and floor. Already you have seen how we use scrt to get the square root of a number. You have also seen how we use the pi constant to get 3.142. And in this example, you will learn how we can use floor function. One good thing about this mode of importing a function from a package is that we've automatically loaded all these functions. So to use them, you don't need to use their alias, you just use the function straight. Let's see, as you can see, there is no alias, there is no function name here. We only use its name, the function name directly. So now if I do like this, square root of 64, I get the result. Okay, let me run this. And now what is the square root of 64 is 8. So what is the value of pi? The value of pi is 3.142, as you can see. And what is floor? So floor is a function that helps us to convert our number into. So floor function takes integer out of decimal. Floor function takes integer out of decimal. As you can see, we have different decimal places here. And what floor function will do is that it will only take the integer part of that value. As you can see, the integer part of this value is just 3. So let me copy this and let me use floor function and then put all this value there. As you can see, it only takes the integer part out of this, and the integer part is just 3. Is it confusing? Let's do it again. Here, we just said we only want to take 3 functions out of this NumPy. And to do that, we can just say from NumPy, import those functions that we want to load. That is scikit, pi, and floor. And whenever you are doing this, you don't need to put any bracket there. No, just the name of that function without parentheses. So now I have done that now and I run it. And whenever you want to use all these functions, you don't need to reference NumPy because you have already taken those functions out of it. And that's the main reason why we are using it directly here. As you can see, the value of pi, as you can see, the value of floor, for this value, we have that. It is common in Python programming to load a function with this or to use their alias before we can use those functions. And that is what we have done here. As you can see here, to use any function, we have to attach its alias to it. Import NumPy as np, and any function we want to get from np, we have to use its alias, np.pi, np.sqrt, and let me show you how we can use floor with this. Here we just say np.floor, let's say 3.145679. As you can see, if I run it now, I get its integer part, which is 3. And that is how we can load a package. It's either by loading it with alias or by easily taking a function out of it by using from module name import. This function name will be the list of functions that you want to load out of that package. In data science world, there are many packages. So in this video, you will learn how you can import pandas, Matplotlib, .pyplot, and Seaborn. It's just the same way we loaded our NumPy package. Once you know the name of a package, you can easily import it. For example, if you want to load pandas package, you will just say import pandas as PD. Remember, the PD here is the alias for pandas package. For matplotlib.pyplot, if you want to import it, you just say import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. The PLT here is the alias for this package, which is matplotlib.pyplot. And for Seaborn, you just say import Seaborn as SNS. SNS is the alias for Seaborn package, while NP is the alias for NumPy package, and PD is the alias for pandas package. We have now come to the end of this module. So I believe all the knowledge that you have acquired in this video will help you to go a long way in your Python journey. Remember, you learn by practicing. Keep on practicing, and all that we have learned in this module will help us in CS2 too, where you will learn everything about data science. Thank you so much, and see you in the next course. Bye.